The Lakers have been sold for $10 billion. I don't think this changes the game as much as some people. Plus, can the Celtics be really that good this upcoming season? We'll talk about it right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Beantown, be ever ready. It's the C's. Who else could it be? What they gon' say now? Screaming like JT, Karalis. We kept the madness every game, every practice. Prime time, dapping D White on the sideline. Raining J's, how it started, raising business, how we finished. Locked on Celtics pod, home of the winners.
Hey there, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast. Right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. And I got you covered every Monday through Friday. Your team's the Boston Celtics. I talk about them 5 days a week. It's free. It's available everywhere. So make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcast. Watch the show on YouTube. Get into the comment section. Share your thoughts with me. I'm John Karalis, beat writer for Boston Sports Journal. I've been covering the Celtics for about 20 years. I've written 2 books on the Celtics, one of which, Built Different. You can now, if you go to my socials on Twitter, X, or Blue Sky, $18. I got the championship book. I got extras here. We're celebrating 1 year from the championship. I'm clearance sale, $18 for a signed copy. Just Venmo me. It's on my X and it's on Blue Sky. So go check it out there if you want to get a copy of the book, signed copy of the book. US only, United States only, for $18. Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA. You get $20 off your first purchase. Later on, second, third segment, we're going to talk about the Celtics. A common question that I'm getting and seeing around the internet is, how good can the Celtics really be? And we don't know the actual answer yet, but theoretically, with what they have, what we can presume might be coming back, how good can they really be this upcoming season without Jayson Tatum and with the moves that they have to make? But first, it's the Lakers sale. Surprising, shocking. The Lakers sold for a valuation. This is not the entire team that sold, but a valuation of $10 billion. Mark Walter, Dodgers owner, is buying the majority stake of the Lakers. So, just like the Celtics, they're not selling the entire. There's a majority stake being sold. So that's nuts. $10 billion. And I just, first of all, it's the biggest story in the league. And it's a big wow because the Celtics just sold for a valuation of $6 billion. And when the sale completes in a couple of years or at the end of the year, whatever the timeline really is, the valuation will be what it is then. So right away, this sale does impact what the Celtics valuation will be, because people will say, hey, well, if the Lakers sold for $10 billion, maybe they might already have an agreed upon kind of number of what that might be. But I just kind of wonder if it'll be revisited, be like, hey, whoa. The Lakers sold for $10 billion. So this isn't the real number is this. There might be more. But regardless, I don't think we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. A $10 billion valuation is the biggest valuation. ESPN says the highest valued franchise in sports history at $10 billion. And I've seen a lot of people talking about the Lakers were this glorified mom and pop shop, right? Big, glitzy, glamorous, but it was the family, and the Buss family basically had all of their money tied up in the Lakers, which is true. And now that you have Mark Walter, who owns the Dodgers, who knows what else, he's, one of the richest people around. The thought is, well, they're not going to have the same restrictions on them. To which I say, does anybody remember the second apron? Hello, second apron, CBA. What have we been talking about all of this time? It's like people forget that the major luxury tax exists, that the punitive nature of being over the second apron, people forget that exists. The Celtics are in what they are, their situation, not because they just said, hey, we've had enough of Drew Holiday, we're just going to move him. No, they are in this situation because there's a new collective bargaining agreement really taking hold this year. This year, it's really sinking its teeth into the NBA. And here's Mark Walter coming into the league going like, all right, let's spend some money. And no. Yeah, like, okay. The Lakers will go into the tax. They will go over the second apron for a short time, but the Lakers are going to be subject to the same limitations as everybody else, the same limitations as the Celtics, the same as the OKC Thunder and the Indiana Pacers and eventually the Orlando Magic. The Lakers, the whole point of this collective bargaining agreement is that no team is special. Every team is going to be facing these parameters, and whatever they're paying as far as luxury tax is going to be just as punitive. It's great that you have your own, regional sports network, and you can, it's the Lakers, it's LA. The money coming in is much, much, much different, right? And you can afford to pay the taxes. Sure. They will be, as of right now, for the upcoming season, over the tax, but under the first apron. So they still have room to move, but they have some decisions to make. They have some money to spend to fill out their roster, and they have some moves to make to become better. They have Luka Doncic, and next year they're going to have to start paying him some money. LeBron is in the last year of a contract. They're going to have to figure out, what do you do after this year of LeBron? Next year, they have, as I look at their sheet, 1, 2, 3 players with guarantees, no options. They have a fourth in Dalton Connect with a team option. And then they have Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic with player options. This is the 26-27 season. LeBron, Rui Hachimura, Dorian Finney-Smith. We got to see how his summer goes. He might not even be there. Gabe Vincent, who cares? Maxi Kleber, who cares? They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unrestricted free agents, including LeBron in 26-27. A lot of money is going to have to be spent, and they still have to spend some money. So they will go over the first apron, and they have an opportunity to spend even more money this year. Now, what can they do? Still limited. You're a tax-paying team, and potentially over the first apron. If you start moving some salary, aggregating salaries, well, then you're hard capped at the second apron. All of these little triggers, all of these little things prevent the Lakers from doing what would have been in the past just Laker big money spending team type of things. So, yes, the Lakers have opportunities to get better. Maybe they have a little bit more money to spend. Maybe they're a little bit more willing to step into the tax and pay it for a little bit longer. But next year, I assume they're going to want to build a contender around Luka Doncic, and we'll see what goes on with LeBron and how much longer he wants to play. But they're going to have to figure out a way to put a winner around Luka. That means a lot of these guys are going to have to come back, or they're going to have to strip it down and spend cap money. They can get under the cap if they let all of their unrestricted free agents go in 26-27, but that's still going to limit how much they can build, because it's not like they can build a whole team just in free agents. And there's the limitations. Those guys are going to start getting expensive, and the second apron is going to be their calling. So this notion that new owners are going to make the Lakers something other than what they've been, sure, a little bit, but there are no exceptions to the rules here for them. They are subjected to the same rules as everybody else. And so maybe the same Laker exceptionalism will get them a free agent or a trade, a stupid trade, or something is going to work in their favor like it tends to. But any thought that they're going to put this big juggernaut together now that They have a new owner that's not just whose money is not just Lakers money. That guy is going to tie a rocket ship to this franchise, and they're going to start piling up championships. No. This is the Lakers are still going to be in the same position, and the collective bargaining agreement is still going to be everybody's worst enemy. Once you get good, you get expensive, and it'll get torn down. And so, congratulations to the Lakers. Congratulations to the Buss family for cashing in. I mean, they are all, everybody in that Buss family, just billionaires now. You can just get cashed out. Boom. Jeannie Buss, billionaire now. Just, you got liquid money. Boom. It's crazy. And she's going to stay on as governor for a while. So it's the Wick Grossbeck kind of playbook. But congratulations to them. It's a big story. It's the biggest story in the league right now. But all of this talk that this changes the playing field for the Lakers it has to be tempered by the fact that this new collective bargaining agreement just reins all of that in. They can't do the things that people are instantly reacting, saying like, oh, they can do this, and this. No. They are bound by the same things that are crushing the expensive teams. They will be expensive. They're going to be expensive this year. Next year, who knows? But they're going to be expensive. And unless Luka does something crazy next in 26-27, I'm not putting a ton of stock in the Lakers. This changing a lot about the Lakers. So I know this whole Celtics-Lakers rivalry thing, I'm not worried about it. I'm really not worried about it when it comes to this bit of news. How good can the Celtics be, though? Can they, before the Lakers figure it out, can they tack on one more championship? Let's try to answer that question when I come back. Today's show is brought to you by Olipop. I got one right here. It's crisp apple. Yesterday I had the grape, which was really good. I've been drinking this crisp apple. They sent these to me, and these are legit. I'm going to take a sip here. Oh, man. This is so sweet, but not too sweet. It's good. It's like you're drinking a cider. Supports digestive health, has prebiotics, botanicals, and plant fiber. This has only 50 calories and 1 gram of added sugars. Are you kidding me? 1 gram? You know what's in a Coke? 39 grams of sugar. You know what's in an orange Fanta? 44 grams of added sugar. There are no artificial sweeteners. There are gut-friendly ingredients. This is something that you can drink if you like. I'm doing the 50-plus-year-old thing where I'm back in the gym. I'm feeling good. I'm trying to be healthy. I still want something sweet, something beyond water to drink. Right here, Olipop. This is really good. So check it out. You can get a can for free, by the way. You go to the store, you buy 2 cans, and if you go to drinkolipop.com/LockedOnNBA, drinkolipop, OLIPOP.com/LockedOnNBA, buy your 2 cans, go there, and they will reimburse you for one of the cans. So you get 1 free can. You can find out which stores are carrying it right there on that website, drinkolipop.com/LockedOnNBA. Find out where they're selling them. Get 2 cans, get reimbursed for 1. You'll be going back. I promise you, because this is like, I can't stop. I got to stop talking now. I don't want to, because this is really good stuff. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On NBA Game Night, covering everything happening in the NBA Finals. And on Thursday night, after Game 6, I will be there with Jake Madison talking about Game 6. Will it be celebrating a Thunder championship? Will it be celebrating a Pacers win to extend it to a Game 7? Find out. Check it out wherever you get your podcasts, and check out both podcasts on the feed. All right, so Lakers, I'm done with them. Celtics. I go back and forth on a lot of things, and a question I get, I do a Q&A on Boston Sports Journal, and I got this question there. How good can the Celtics really be? I think it was phrased like, you keep saying that the Celtics are going to be good, but how? How are they going to be good No Jayson Tatum for most of the year, maybe all of the year. Drew Holiday will likely be gone. Sam Hauser probably gone. How do you who knows with Al Horford and Luke Cornett? There's a lot of players. This is going to be upheaval. How can we sit here and say Brad Stevens is trying to squeeze one more year of contention out of this? Where's the year of contention, right? Well, the year of contention is dependent on Jayson Tatum. And I've had people agree with me, disagree with me, vehemently disagree with me. Let me be clear. I'll say it again when it comes to Jayson Tatum. You must take into account, or at least I do, when I'm evaluating what the Celtics could be next season. I have to take into account all of the scenarios. I'm trying to play things out in my head. Jayson Tatum returning during the season and being available for the playoffs is a possible scenario. Is it going to happen? I don't know. Is it likely? I don't know. Could he miss the entire season? Maybe. Yeah, that's also a possibility. But I'll say it again. 27 years old, in fantastic health, one of the most regimented, like he is very serious about keeping his body healthy, going through all of his, like, we wait for a long time for Jayson Tatum to talk to us after games because he's going through every bit of his post-game recovery after the game, and then he talks to us. And that takes a while. He is diligent about keeping his body healthy. Okay, this thing happened. It's a catastrophic injury. It's a weird thing, but it happened. But his body is conditioned very well, as nobody in the NBA has conditioned their body better than Tatum. Maybe it's a multiple-way tie, but Tatum is in fantastic physical health aside from this one catastrophic injury. Okay, freak injuries happen. He's young. He's at his absolute physical peak. The surgery happened within hours of the injury, faster than basically any athlete having suffered this injury. This might be the fastest or one of the fastest injury Achilles surgeries that a professional athlete has gotten. The only way that he could get it faster is if he tore the Achilles in the hospital and they're like, oh, okay, let's just go fix this. He was literally around the corner from one of the best hospitals, orthopedic hospitals in the world, in New York City, and has one of the preeminent Achilles surgeons there. And the procedure that they used is revolutionary, has not been used on many, I don't even know how many NBA players have gotten this particular speed bridge surgery, but it's known to get players back on there into the rehab sooner and progressing faster. So I see a lot of things that point to, well, if the range is 8 to 12 months to get back onto the floor, I see 8 months with all of this stuff. I'm like, man, I feel like 8 months could happen. I feel like 8 months could happen, knowing full well that it might not happen. Could be 9 months, could be 10 months, could be 12 months, could be 15 months. He could have a setback. We don't know. This is why I say the plan is Holiday, gone, traded. Bring back less salary. Hopefully, it's enough less salary where one or two minor moves, including Sam Hauser, sorry, Sam, but his $10 million going into somebody's exception is a key piece to this. And Baylor Shireman stepping up into that role is a key piece to this. But Drew, Sam, and then if you're close, that's good enough. Then you head into the season. You make your moves that you have to make this offseason. You go into the season with Porzingis, unless a deal comes along and you're like, whoa, got to take it. But you go into the season with Porzingis and with your two losses being Drew and Sam. And then you let Tatum go through his progressions and you start to figure it out. The injury, surgery happened in May. So June, July, August, September, October, 5-month mark, October, training camp. You go into training camp with 5 months of Jayson Tatum recovering. What are we going to see? I'm going to walk into training camp. I'll be on that floor day one. Could we see Jayson Tatum out there doing some stationary shooting? Could we see him on a bike? Could we see him out there doing some light jogging? Who knows? They have to go through the steps, and they have to see. This is the typical benchmark. It's like anybody who runs a race, right? You have the standard time, and you have like the your time, and you have like the lap times, right? If you're going against the first place guy and your lap is faster, you're like, okay, you're progressing faster. So if this checkpoint is at 3 months and you're like, well, that doesn't normally happen until 4 or 5 months, then you're ahead of schedule. Or you hit this checkpoint at 3 months and you go, that's usually the 1 month check mark. And now you know you're behind schedule. The Celtics have this luxury here. They say, okay, we'll take it into training camp and we'll see. Is the John Karalis optimism coming to fruition? If so, then great. Then you roll with it. Maybe you have to make a minor move, or maybe you don't actually get under the second apron and you push it. And then the next 3 years, you absolutely have to get under, but maybe you just squeeze one more year out of this. Or you say, we're close. All we got to do is maybe waive this one little player, or maybe make one little trade by the trade deadline, and we're good. And it's not affecting the overall team. So my look at, can the Celtics really contend, depends on the optimistic Jayson Tatum actually beating those check marks. If he can, now we got something here. So if you're out there saying like, you shouldn't talk about this, you have to talk about this because it's possible. It's one of the scenarios. Jayson Tatum coming back next year is possible. Jayson Tatum not coming back next year is possible. Jayson Tatum not coming back till next summer is possible. We don't know, but we cannot discount him coming back during the season, ramping up during the All-Star, post-All-Star part of the season, and being ready during the playoffs. We cannot discount that. So let's get into the rest of the roster and see why I think the Celtics can be maybe not top tier contender, but amongst the contenders. We'll do that when I come back. Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. It's nothing like going to a game live. I love doing it. One of my favorite things to do, I love the WNBA. I love going as a fan. I don't cover the league generally, but it's fun to go. And I can open up the Game Time app and just say, I feel like going to a Connecticut Sun game. Or if I'm on the road, like I did when I was in New York, I went to New York Liberty game, which happened to be against the Connecticut Sun. I opened up the app, a couple of clicks, and boom, there it was. I saw the Barclays Center. I saw their deals because they have special deals, last minute deals. This was a very last minute deal. It gave me my panoramic seat view. I had no surprise fees, and the zone deals gave me the best possible option. I got a great ticket. I knew exactly what I was going to see when I walked in. When I sat in my seat, it matched exactly what it showed me in the app. So I would say use Game Time if you're going to any last minute sporting event or comedy, theater, concerts, all of that stuff. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA. You'll get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONNBA, LOCKED, LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out the Locked On NBA mock draft. We've got the mock draft. I made a pick for the mock draft. It's a 5-episode series of the most comprehensive draft analysis from NBA experts to college experts and NBA draft experts. Find the 2025 Locked On NBA mock draft on NBA Big Board and Locked On NBA on YouTube, or or wherever you listen to your podcasts. I made the pick. You got to go listen to see who I picked. Thought it was a decent one for at 28. I think the Celtics could get, and we'll talk about this in another show coming up, but I think the Celtics have an opportunity to maybe get a useful player at 28. So the key here when I'm talking about, can the Celtics really contend next year? Step one, like I said, is Tatum. So when I talk about, can the Celtics be in the mix to get a banner 19 before all hell breaks loose? Yes, they can. But it depends on Tatum and the optimistic scenario. If Tatum's not back in the optimistic scenario and it doesn't come to fruition, then probably no, they can't. But I'm not ruling them out completely, but it definitely, they're a long shot, or among the longer shots. So Tatum coming back January, February, ramping up February, March, April, coming back in like late April, May. I think if he can do that, now you've got your Tatum, Brown, presuming everybody else is healthy, the Porzingis wild card, but you have your two best players, and that gives you a chance. Throughout the regular season before that, you still have Jaylen Brown, who will be ready after the meniscus surgery. You still have Derrick White, who I think lost in all of this is Derrick White. We have talked about this many times over the course of the last year or two. Derrick White has sacrificed a lot. He might have sacrificed more than anybody in this, era of the past two seasons. He will now have the opportunity to be the number 2 option. And I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what Derrick White has to offer as your true number 2. And he could go to a point where if you go all season long and the Jaylen Brown as your primary scorer, Derrick White as your ball handler, maybe you can run some pick and rolls with him and Jaylen and work some of that stuff in. Maybe you can work some inverted pick and rolls. I don't know. There are options there, but if you run that whole season, Jayson Tatum can come back and have like the pressure taking off of him, as like he can spend a playoff run being like kind of sort of number 3 option. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have to be Jayson Tatum. He just has to be the threat of Jayson Tatum. And Derrick White, Jaylen Brown, and now with Jayson Tatum in the mix, I think Jayson can kind of fit in and take over in spots, but he can also fit into whatever the Celtics are doing this upcoming season. But I am looking forward to Derrick White and Jaylen Brown, that combination on the floor. I think there's a lot of room here for more than we've seen. We've seen Jaylen Brown be a distributor without Jayson Tatum. That I know it doesn't apply to what happened against the Knicks in the closeout game, but we've seen it over the course of the regular season last year. Jaylen showing a little extra distribution. I think he can do more of that. Derrick being more of an attacker, aggressive scorer, passing off of his drives. I think that can be a big deal. You still have Peyton Pritchard, who's going to have a bigger role. And I think in the regular season, Pritchard can do a lot. You need Baylor Shireman to step up and step into that Sam Hauser role. If he can become some semblance of Sam Hauser, I don't know if he's going to be a 41% three-point shooter, but if he can be in that mix, somewhere in that range, while playing some decent defense, he's got the size. He's certainly got the work ethic. So if he steps in and kind of steps into that role, then that gives the Celtics a real boost. What they're going to need in order to make this really happen is they're going to have to figure out, obviously, their big man situation. I don't know what's happening with Al Horford. It's all quiet with Al. I feel like he might start, just want to look, just kind of see. I want to see what's out there as far as offers. you have to remember that there is a potential for some of these teams that are around the salary floor. You have to remember we talk about the salary cap at the top. There's a salary floor at the bottom. And some teams that are around the bottom have been paying big money to guys for a year or two. And that gets them up there. That could happen to Luke Cornett. That could happen to Al Horford. A team looking to bring in a younger team looking to bring in a pro to kind of set their culture. You throw big time money, you throw 2 years, $30 million at Al Horford, and the Celtics are offering 2 years at the veteran minimum. I don't know how Al Horford reacts. Typically, Al has not turned down money. Typically, Al has said, I'm going to go where the market takes me. But now, with his family very much set up in Massachusetts, loving it here, having won a championship, I wonder if he'll leave money on the table and just stick around and maybe put some pressure on the Celtics to give him more than the minimum. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. They need to figure out their big man situation. It can't be Neemias Queta. I feel like, he's good in spots, but he's not. You cannot rely on 82 games of Queta. I'm sorry. I just don't see that. I don't see that value there. So they have to figure out their big man. They're going to have to find some scoring off the bench. Somebody that can hit some shots off the bench. You're going to have to replace that. If they can find some cheap options that can come in and hit some shots off the bench. Magic's just waived Gary Harris. Can he come in and come off the bench and hit some shots? A veteran minimum could be a cheap option. Celtics could be, whoever they draft could be a potential option in a pinch. And the final thing here, once this roster is set, and this is really a tough kind of thing. When I talk about can the Celtics still contend, because we don't know what the roster is going to be, but the coaching is going to have to adjust. This is going to be a very interesting summer for Joe Mazzulla because he's going to have to figure out an entirely new approach, not necessarily philosophically, because he's still going to want guys to read and react, but he's not going to have as many guys that can read as quickly as he's had before. He's going to have to put some guys in certain situations. He's going to have to run some sets where he demands guys are doing specific things so his main guys can read and react and make some plays. So the coaching adjustment, I like Joe Mazzulla. I think he's a really, really good coach. I think he understands the game very, very well. So I expect him to make his adjustments with this new roster whenever the new roster is put together. But there's no doubt we have not seen him with this kind of team before. So there is some level of newness there. In the end, I know the Celtics are going to have to figure out their big man situation. They're going to have to find some scoring off the bench. They're probably going to keep Peyton Pritchard off the bench just to kind of boost that second unit somehow. And from there, we're going to need some internal improvement here from I'm curious, first of all, Baylor Shireman, but I'm very curious to see how Jaylen, as the number one guy for most, if not all of this season, how he evolves his game, and how Derrick White, what Derrick White can show as far as, hey, I have sacrificed this much. This is my fully realized power here. So I'm very curious to see what that will look like. I tend to be a positive person, confident, in my optimism. So I think we can see the best of Derrick White this upcoming season. I'm looking forward to that. I'm very curious to see how Jaylen evolves. The Celtics just need to be in that 3, 4, 5 kind of mix. And if they're there, we'll see how good the Cavs are, the Knicks, the Pacers, the Magic. There's a lot of tough competition at the top. The Pistons are going to be better. So it's not going to be easy. But if the Celtics are in that top 4, 5, which I think they should be, and if Tatum comes back, then I think the Celtics have a chance to make a run. We'll see. It's not going to be easy. I'm not saying that they're going to be dominant. This is not like me predicting championships like I did in the last 2 seasons. I think it's possible they can make a run. I think I'm not ruling a championship out next year, but I acknowledge it's going to be hard, but I think there's a path. I think there's a path. It's just going to be difficult. We'll revisit this question when they actually do make some moves. So stick around here. Hey, tomorrow, Friday, Flashcard Friday. I got this stack of flashcards right here, right there. All of these flashcards have topics that I'll shuffle these up. Tom Westerholm will be back, and we're going to answer these topics cold. It's like a freestyle podcasting tomorrow. So come check that out. I thought last week's was fun. We're going to see if we can make it better. So check it out. Make sure you're subscribed if you have not subscribed to the podcast. If you are an everydayer, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you being here every Monday through Friday. The show is Monday through Friday. It's free. It's daily, 5 days a week, all through June, all through July. August and September, we'll dial it back to 3 days, and then we're back to 5 days a week. Always free, always on YouTube. Get into that comment section, and then I would love it if you shared the podcast and told everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.